Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Grandmasters. This is the fourth matchup today. We are halfway done. StrifeCro versus Firebat. It's a long day for us, largely because Sundays are always long. There's 6 matches per region, but also because each game has gone to the distance so far. It's been 2-1 all the way through, while everyone else in the other regions, they get their own fair lucky share of 2-0s to blast through. But I'm enjoying it. You know, we have StrifeCro versus Firebat. This is a classic matchup that we've seen back 2014, 2015 a lot, back with some of those opens, and even the World Championship had both these guys in 2014.
That's right, and they're both bringing very different decks this week to Grandmasters, where StrifeCro went with a Tempo Thief Rogue with a lot of aggression packed in, Hench Clan Thugs, deadly poisons, but because of the nerfs to Raiding Party and Preparation, needed to find some replacements to the Pirate package with Raiding Party. So StrifeCro has decided to go with Hench Clan Burglars and Blink Foxes and Vendettas to kind of fill that gap. It's worked out well for him. He's also, before the weekend started, he was rank 1 legend with the deck. So very comfortable with it, was making some nice creative plays. And that tertiary deck has the tech for Mage, which is what Firebat's going to be playing in this series.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that tertiary deck's going to come into play for sure this entire best of 3. Firebat, in the meantime, he's playing that Cyclone Mage. He posted an image right before this series on Twitter saying that his practice games, he went in the mid-30s in terms of his win percentage, in practice games. That's not good. That means on average he loses every best of 3.
Yeah, and one of the biggest cards that he has to worry about is honestly Hench Clan Thug. It's almost like it's hard to
answer it.
He can't answer it.
He has Snap Freeze.
He has Snap Freeze, but you need Ray of Frost plus Snap Freeze to be able to answer it. And then what? You've used 2 resources to deal with this Hench Clan Thug, and then just keep reloading. Yeah, and Mage, that 30% was probably on the back of just the nuts Mage hands, right? If you look at the way these decks are designed, where StrifeCro is an aggressively, I don't want to say an aggressive deck, an aggressively themed deck, and Firebat's this kind of weakish early game, but very powerful and explosive mid game. These are the types of decks that are supposed to lose to aggressive decks.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that the Mage was designed without Rogue in mind, and StrifeCro's going to capitalize onto it very easily.
And Van Cleef and a coin. There's a Hench Clan Thug.
Keeps Van Cleef. This is a very strong, versatile opening hand. StrifeCro can play pressure oriented. He can all in with Van Cleef, and he can also just like take it slow with the value generation off of Blink Fox and the Burglar. In the meantime, Firebat is going to be the player to focus on of like whether or not he can withstand the pressure. Has a Magic Trick and Arcane Intellect, things to keep his hand size relatively stable, as he most likely is going to lean towards trying. Ooh, a Conjurer's Calling, or even a Frost Nova.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Job's done.
Yeah, sorry. Keep his hand count high, and Arcane Intellect helps that.
I am also dazzled by a Conjurer's Calling, Dan.
Well, I mean, it looks like the Conjurer's Calling guy is chewing 5 gum. How it feels to chew 5 gum. You just post a Conjurer's Calling. I think that's a great tweet. I think if Derek Brown is watching this and he's not passed out at his laptop Googling top memes of 2019,
I'm pretty sure
he should be on the case.
Derek has like a voice-activated alarm on his phone that whenever someone says meme in any Hearthstone stream,
it's like an RSS
across
feed.
Twitch, it just gives him a ding, and he wakes up and he's like, "Ooh,
that's right, that's right.
I'm needed."
It's true. Derek Brown. Oh, this Van Cleef play, by the way. That preparation pickup. Whoo! You need a Snap Freeze to answer that.
He does have a Conjurer's Calling. It'll summon 2/3 drops, and then StrifeCro. The thing about this is StrifeCro also has gas to back this up. He also has just pressure to back this up. So even if Firebat does have Ray of Frost Snap Freeze or Conjurer's Calling to deal with it, he's not out of the woods. He's still going to just play 3-drop, 4-drop, and then start hitting you.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where it gets difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know if Firebat wants to pull the trigger on the Conjurer's Calling yet.
He doesn't have to.
He can buy time with Ray of Frost. He can buy a significant amount of time with Ray of Frost. He might even need to kind of feel like he has to take 8 if he wants to Arcane Intellect this time.
The thing is, if he's playing as Monsanto's deck list, I understand that because Monsanto doesn't have Leroy and all these other aggressive cards, but StrifeCro does. So I'm scared to flirt too much with Disaster. It's kind of like treating this as a Mountain Giant, except you have the ability to answer it with the Conjurer's Calling.
I wonder.
Nice thing with Coin, Prep, and even Eviscerate Dump, that means that Sorcerer's Apprentice is likely to survive. It would require StrifeCro to have Backstab, which he currently does not have. Oh,
Now he does have.
just kidding.
Cosmic Anomaly. Woo!
Firebat still looking for that Snap Freeze. Maybe maybe this Hidden Thumb. Or it's not, maybe this Hidden Thumb will be able to show him.
What?
Magic trick. It looks like he's trying to separate his finger, but it's really just his thumb. You've never seen this trick? Did your weird uncle at family reunions not do that trick for you? Including the quarter from the ear?
My entire family was the equivalent of a one-trick pony in Hearthstone, but for whoopee cushions. That was the only quote-unquote trick that my family knew.
Gotcha. It explains your casting style very accurately.
Oh, and my grandpa also pull my finger.
Gotcha. Well, pull your finger magic trick. I mean, that is kind of similar to the art. Another Ray of Frost, a Frost Nova. Looks like Firebat is taking damage no matter what he does this turn. Or rather, no matter what he chooses to do from this point on. He already made his bed, understanding that he's working with 18 life or less if his opponent's able to get past these mirror images. The nice thing is that he saw the backstab, so mirror images gaining 11 life, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Ooh. Earth and Might, just damage.
Well, what's funny is that he has an elemental.
He's the Cosmic Anomaly.
Cosmic Anomaly. All right, so Firebat's done a great job keeping his life total in check so far. All right, and that's the second copy of Ray of Frost. That Van Cleef. Eternally frozen. It's chilly out there.
He hasn't been able to attack once, and he came down on turn 2.
But imagine, I mean, at the same time, it's like soaking up mana, it's soaking up resources. This Mountain Giant is just getting further and further away of being played because of that Van Cleef.
Yeah.
It's the pressure, the imminent pressure. He's a frozen statue, but it's a looming presence onto the game board. I feel like Hanch Clan Thug has been waiting for a long time.
Yeah. Get that snowball on board early. Perfect mana to dagger up along with it. Okay. StrifeCro has a different plan in mind.
Well, I mean, this still gets Hench Clan Thug
It
out.
gets Hench Clan Thug on the board.
Does a little bit more damage.
Yeah.
In fact, 5, 10, 18. It's close to lethal already. Good lord. Rogue is fast sometimes.
It is a lethal setup. If everything survives. Now, if he pings off the Hench Clan Burglar, then
What to
it's
do?
not, but...
What to do?
Banana Buffoon Frost Nova. Does that let him Mountain Giant Conjurer's Calling next turn? It doesn't. Because it would go down to 5. He'd had 7 mana.
But the Banana Buffoon gives him an opportunity to draw Sorcerer's Apprentice number 2 for maybe a Mana Cyclone Hail Mary attempt.
Yep.
The Evil Cable Rat, Cosmic Anomaly, Underbelly Fence, all viable options at this point. I think StrifeCro can... actually. Let me see.
Underbelly Fence, dagger up Deadly Poison, smack him.
Yeah, because that buffs the Hench Clan Thug, which I like.
Yeah.
How much is this worth?
Push your opponent out at 18, it just gets you closer to your goal. So I think instead of playing the Evil Cable Rat this turn, I like the Deadly Poison.
Yep. Now Firebat needs a miracle turn, looking for second Sorcerer's Apprentice.
He does have Conjurer's Calling. Okay, Khadgar plus Mirror Image.
It's a lot of time,
That's a thing.
but it's also 2 cards expended from his hand.
We must band together, united for Dalaran.
I mean, there's 5 attacks on board plus the ping, so
Looks like he's going for Mana Cyclone.
okay.
Looking for like Blizzard Flame Strike, looking for some big board clears.
Yeah. Hoping to gain a lot of life through this.
A third Conjurer's Calling.
That's right.
Are all of those created by, are all of those randomly generated? The second
One of
two
them
are.
is. One of them is.
No, the first one was created by Magic Trick as well. So
Yes.
2 of them are.
One of them is, but another one is as well, TJ.
Wow.
God.
One of them is correct, yeah, because one of them is.
Yeah.
So is another one.
That's right.
You cheeky guy, dude.
I used to eat Taco Bell. I still do, but I used to as well. Cosmic Anomaly Holy Nova. That almost makes Holy Nova look like a good card. But it's not playable next turn. Yeah, and I gotta say, Holy Nova is situationally really good, but that card used to be something that was pretty impactful for you. Feels like these days you need a little bit more oomph for your AoE in terms of making it into a top-tier constructed deck. Still obviously has its own uses in different situations. Turns out when your opponent plays Cyclone Mage, Holy Nova is the nuts. Firebat's last hope, the Doomsayer.
Or the Astral Rift.
Into what?
I don't know.
The Doomsayer?
No, it still wouldn't be good enough.
I think he should trade his into the Hench Clan Burger to increase his
Yeah,
chances.
he can Astral Rift too, but I don't think it changes anything. Spirit of the Dragon
Oh.
Hawk, no.
Well, the Spirit of the Dragonhawk kills 3 minions.
Wait.
Yeah, he should increase his chances to do that. He can trade and then do it again.
Looking for Doomsayer?
It's gonna happen eventually.
It will happen eventually.
This game is not that game. Perhaps this day is not that day, but one day it will happen and it'll be glorious. And one player is gonna be happy and the other player is gonna be salty.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it happen, I think, a large handful, a Hodor handful of times with Piloted Shredder.
Way too soon. 5 years later, my heart's still crushed. And if that's a spoiler for you guys, you are
I was
living
about
under
to
a
say,
rock.
Dan, this is an awkward moment because I didn't know that I was casting with a spoiler.
Ooh, that is the worst kind of
How dare
out
you?
there. All right,
Go to a break quickly,
game
Dan.
1 in the books. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're gonna have game number 2 between StrifeCro and Firebat. Stay tuned.
My name is Francisco Fraile Montas. One of my best friends came out with my nickname. We are all getting like nicknames with 3 letters for some reason, like 13 years old. My name is Francisco, and Francisco's called Pancho, so it's just like 3 letters from that, P and C. One interesting thing about me that most people don't know is that I used to study ancient history. I quit for Hearthstone a couple of years, but plan on going back at one point. My favorite Hearthstone Esports moment was when I topped like Lethal 2016 Copa America Finals. That was like my first big win, and I was very, very happy. It's like finally all that I worked for coming true. Beating Grandmasters for me means that all the hard work that I put in last years and all the time that I spent in the game is paying off. My favorite thing about Grandmasters would be that I get a chance to prove myself like on the big stage. What makes me unique as a player, I would say, is just bringing very complicated decks to tournament. It's mostly combo decks that people usually don't play. My personal goals this year will be to earn as much money as I can, of course, and yeah, just improve as a player and play the best I can.
So you're probably wondering why I gathered you here. Let me take a moment and break it down. We've been given black eyes by the good guys. Oh, but that's about to change. Those meddlesome mortals who've mocked up our missions will finally feel some of our pain. You see, I have a devious plan that requires a demonstrative fist. And each of you will have your dreams come true as a fiendish finger of peace. What? All right. Let me try this again. Alone all our dreams went. Kaboom! Yes, but united we'll take the candle. Nothing bigger.
I'm seeing what you want to do.
Let me hear it.
We'll come together so we can dismantle.
Now here's the plot to capture your greed and intrigue. We'll take Galaran for all that it's got. As we form an evil league.
Welcome back, everyone, to the fourth match of today, StrifeCro versus Firebat. StrifeCro is currently up 1-0. His tempo Thief Rogue able to get over the hump very easily. And that's all that Mage was, to provide a speed bump. It wasn't anything close to a very contested game. It was extremely one-sided.
Firebat honestly survived way longer than I thought he would.
Yeah, it became a game of survival, kind of like playing against an unfair like zombies horde mode.
Survive.
Where the goal is how many rounds can you survive and set a high score, not actually can you find a way to defeat your opponents and win the game. At least that's how it felt.
He scored pretty high.
Yeah, he got to turn 7.
Yeah.
That's about a turn or two longer than I would have survived or even thought that Firebat would survive. Maybe a different hand, maybe a different deck will turn the tides. However, I was told that StrifeCro has turned to his tertiary deck, which includes 2 copies of Walk the Plank, 2 copies of Cold Blood, and Big Game Hunter. StrifeCro out on a mission to prove that even though half the cards in his deck list have been nerfed or changed at one point, that it still gets there.
Yeah.
If you look at it, Backstab's been changed. Preparation was changed.
Backstab was changed in the beta, though. Does that count?
Miscreant was changed. Van Cleef was changed. Leroy Jenkins was changed.
Backstab was changed in the beta. I don't think that counts.
It does count. Frost Nova used to cost 2 mana.
But Frost Nova was changed after the beta, right?
I believe it was
In the first
during.
balance patch.
Was
Okay.
it after?
Backstab was changed very early on. Backstab used to just be 2 damage on any minion, not an undamaged minion. That didn't exist for very long.
It was pretty strong.
It was quite impactful.
God, that just sounds... even to this point today, when I hear about some of the old, just gosh, those cards are just really ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Leroy Jenkins at 4 mana was just obnoxious. Because you could play 3 in a turn.
I mean, people are arguing that Leroy's still too strong at 5 mana.
Yeah, well, it just seems strong now, I think, because they pretty much stopped printing charge minions. So it's like the only one that you can play.
Poor Warsong Commander. All the charge minions at +1 attack, followed by printing 0
charge cards.
Uh,
Even charge. There's a spell called charge. It gives a minion rush.
That's the best part. Charge now gives rush. All right, fast start here for StrifeCro, backstabbing the Sorcerer's Apprentice, putting Firebat on, well, a 3-turn lethal. Firebat plays this giant, that gets BGH'd, he dies the next turn.
It's really funny, Dan. Maybe you go
It's
for...
funny if you're a StrifeCro fan. If you're a Firebat fan, you are in shambles right now.
He has a lot of other options, but he says this is the least likely you'll ever have the removal for it. So I'm going to play.
He is so wrong about that because Big Game Hunter, not wrong in terms of his decision, but you know, when he says this is the least likely that you'll have it, and it's like, come on, he has 100% chance to have it.
Nearly, because he has double walk the
Yeah.
flank. Cold Blood deals with it if he has another card.
Yeah, so, you know, I completely understand Firebat's logic, and I actually agree that Mountain Giant in that position is the best time to play it because you can still recover the spot. And with that Mana Cyclone draw, it's reaffirmed that he probably should have kept it into his hand because now he has an opportunity to combo it because now he can coin Frost Nova into Elemental Evocation Mana Cyclone. We have ourselves a real Hearthstone game at this point. Can Firebat make the comeback here? Four spells played.
Let's see. Big stuff. Blizzard, Flame Strike, Blast Wave, Scorch. He played an Elemental.
Yes, Scourge.
Magic
and
Trick?
Blast Waves.
That's decent, Dan.
Yeah, the Blast Wave doesn't give him anything off of the Overkill, but Firebat able to work the hand back into relevance. What? What? Hold
Whoa! Hexlord Malacras, I
Wait.
think, is probably the best.
Hexor Malacras gives him a Hench Clan Thug, gives him
Blink Fox.
Blink Fox. Did he start with BGH in his opening hand?
He did start with BGH's opening hand.
What? Okay. Now you're just being silly, StrifeCro. Silly StrifeCro. It's funny because when you're the Mage player and Rogue does that too, you're like, oh my gosh, how did he get that? That's so weird. But then like every other player like who goes up against Mage thinks the exact same thing about that class. Blast Wave here is insane.
Blast Wave is a, he'll leave a 3/3 on board, and that is it.
Yeah.
He also kills his own board, though.
Oh yeah, that's a big downside, killing off all these mirror images.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. I
He,
feel like
he does get 2 more Mage spells, though.
Yeah, he does. You still could be even greedier. You could play Ziliax in this spot instead of the Blast Wave, and then let your opponent develop further, and then get even greedier, which is very much like Firebat. He's always thinking about those swing turns. He was one of the players that was first talking about that back in 2015.
Time runs out on me.
It's like he was, you know, people were all talking about like Grim Patron and whatnot, and I remember Firebat was very clear saying like you gotta think about your swing turn. You gotta think about your swing turns. Obviously, other players were thinking the same thing, but one thing that's unique to Firebat back then was that he was very willingly sharing his secrets and is being very open-minded about everything.
Yeah.
Mind Games. Curse of Weakness, Revenge of the Wild. Mind Games is fairly interesting. There are Mountain Giants in the deck of Firebat.
Yeah.
StrifeCro doesn't know that the second Giant's drawn, but there's good stuff.
Mind Games is actually a very Mind Gamesy type of cards. When you first start playing a card, so you have no idea what that means. Put a copy of one of your opponent's minions into the battlefield. Well, who controls it?
How much is this worth to you?
It's very deep, TJ.
I know.
Now this looks like an even worse Blast Wave board.
Ping Blast Wave still leaves 3 minions alive.
Yeah, I think Firebat going for the Sandbinder, trying to see if he can get another Mana Cyclone. This Blast Wave clears off some, but not all.
He's dead.
He is dead.
D-E-D, dead.
Yeah, and I think, you know, obviously in hindsight, he would love to be able to get Ziliax out of his hand, but he was going for broke, right? Firebat wanted to go for that swing turn to commandly get back in the game. Not gonna happen.
All right, here's where you style on him, Dan. So play the Malacras. Let him live.
Well played.
That is game 2. Super quickly, and I mean, this is a heavily favored matchup for StrifeCro.
Yes.
And people were saying, you know what? The only counter to Mage is Paladin.
Nope.
It's like, well, I think Rogue actually, the deck that was originally giving Mage problems before the nerf. Turns out it's still giving Mage problems, even after nerf. That's a 4-0 flawless record for Rogue. Week number 2 for Grandmasters. Even more food for thought going into next week. People are talking about Mage as the #1 deck, maybe Paladin to try to counter it, and you mix in these other offbeat decks, Hunter and Warrior. But I do think Rogue is still a high candidate to be one of the decks that might make the biggest waves in Grandmasters Week 3.
Yeah, and it wasn't on anybody's radar. That's the thing. Because of the changes that happened 24 hours before these players were supposed to submit decks, everybody kind of ruled it out. That's why a lot of players brought Mage, and that's why a lot of players maybe missed the mark on what beats Mage.
Yeah.
And Rogue kind of checks off a lot of boxes if you look at the metagame across all 3 regions right now. And I think that's why it performed well, and it's a brilliant choice from the players that did bring it.
All right. StrifeCro is joined with us on the call. Strife, can you hear us?
Hello, I can hear you.
All right. Nice job. 2-0. Pretty fast. Wow, that was like super one-sided. We knew that Rogue was favored, but that was just, that was domination all the way through.
That was a beating.
Yeah, I actually played this matchup many times on both sides. In fact, I've been playing a lot from both sides. Like, I'm playing Rogue and Mage, multi-boxing, and I have really good results with the Rogue like this. So, and I'm a really good Mage player too.
And a very humble one.
And a very humble one, yes, that's correct. If I do say so myself.
Great start off to it. I think a lot of people underestimate Rogue. People are saying, Mage has no counters. I think even someone saying that earlier in the interviews. Fino was like, if you say Mage has a counter, I don't agree or you're wrong. And then I saw your tweet saying it seems like Mage's weaknesses are opening up. I don't know if you want to necessarily reveal too much, but were you alluding more towards the fact that you feel like Rogue is just that good?
No, I was watching, I think it was Zoo against Mage, Viper. The weird thing is after that tweet, I thought Viper won, but he actually lost. So kind of I kind of ate my words. But I was noticing how this kind of Cyclone Mage, if you, you think aggro is kind of all in, but in some ways that's true. But the Mage is pretty vulnerable to disruption. They can have 10 cards in their hand. If they're all randomly generated spells, oftentimes they don't get there, So you see a lot of aggro decks trading and really respecting Giants, Sea Giants, Mountain Giants, and sometimes you can really disrupt Mage, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's cool observations there. Right now you're off to a pretty good start in Grandmasters, and it feels like you're kind of hitting your stride. And, I got to say that I like that not only, of course, are you doing well, but I like that ideology that Rogue is doing really well, too, for you, and it's working out. You hit #1 Legend with Rogue. Have you been able to hold on to that position, or have you not really laddered since then?
I'm still rank 1 Legend on NA. That's my throne, so I'm planning on keeping it.
Gotcha. Wow. All right. Looking really good. TJ, any questions for StrifeCro here?
Oh, yeah, just one. We kind of talked about how this matchup against Firebat kind of harkens back to 2014, 2015.
That's right.
Do you still get those kinds of feelings of, it's good to be back in the old days when you play against him? Or is it kind of just another Grandmasters match for you?
I was just thinking of it as a normal match. Now that I think about it, that is pretty cool. I mean, that was the BlizzCon I attended as well. I think I top 8 at that one, but yeah, Firebat won that one. So, I guess just another match for me, but it's cool to think about.
Yeah, that's kind of some of the storylines that us casters have to do
Yeah.
to pass to fill in the gaps with this very fast 2-0. Congratulations, StrifeCro, on your victory. We'll see you back next week for more Grandmasters.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Once again, kind of putting the rest of the region on notice. And I say that only because when the roster for Grandmasters announced, the people were memeing StrifeCro. They were using the SpongeBob memes of just whew, glad that I got in on this thing. It's kind of slid in there as an afterthought.
Yeah.
But this guy has some serious skills. He's rank 1 Legend still after, a few days. Usually people try to take it away from him, but they can't. He's getting bored up there.
He is. I'm going to try and take it from him. It's going to take me a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. And by that time, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to get there. But yeah, it's. I think we did a lot of the interviews going into Grandmasters. We had our summit where we got to talk to a lot of players. And I don't think I could count on one hand. I think I would need 2 hands to count how many players were like, yeah, I think my division's easy because StrifeCro's in it. And I'm like, well, if StrifeCro starts playing again, he's a formidable force. And now I'm not going to call those players out by name. I'll let them kind of say it in their own words once we see their media pieces.
Firebat was a player that said that he respects StrifeCro a lot because
he knows what he's capable of.
He knows what he's capable of. Firebat's
Yeah.
like, like people might look at people, like players like StrifeCro, but I know he's really good. So if he gets back into form, he's a scary player. I'm like, well, that's what everyone's saying about you, Firebat. Like, yeah, I guess I'm the same way.
Yeah.
So, even though he takes the L there, I'm sure both these players are going to be firmly in the middle of the pack, if not climbing in the lead. With that, our 5th match is set. We have a Paladin Mirror. It's just saying from Radiance going up against Race from Team Genji. Don't go anywhere. More Hearthstone Grandmasters when we come back.